Hello, YouTube! It is I, Mr. Zero, of Mr. Zero's Terror Ride! Coming at you today, clown, comic, comedian, and commentator. Cheers. There's nothing like a low-quality root beer. This is a low-quality root beer I'm tasting today. I don't think it has the best root beer flavor out of any root beers I've ever had. And oddly, this is a major brand. I'll give you a hint on its origin. It's it it's the root beer that's of a major brand that tastes not so much like root beer, but like carbonated melted root beer flavored popsicles. Here's another hint for you. It's mug root beer. I don't think it's a good brand at all. But that's not what I'm going to complain about today. I've got a special complaint. The other day, me and my wife, we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to not be watching any children. We decided to take advantage of this opportunity and go see a movie. What movie we saw, I will get to in another vlog. But, it was a horror movie, and I do usually like the experience of going to the movies. It is fun. You can share things with other people. I'm a schizotypal person. I don't really like being around other people, but this is the one occasion where I do enjoy it. I do enjoy having the impact of other people around me in a movie theater. I like the smell of the popcorn. I like the dark with the little exit signs. You know, I like having the loud screen wrecking my hearing and making me, a younger 50-year-old. Um, you can, and plus it's fun to have when you go to a comedy. It's fun to hear people laugh. When you go to a horror movie, it's fun to hear the other people go, at the little jump scenes. Um, in fact, a really, really fun, and this was at a horror movie, but it was a scene which I started off where everyone in the audience of this movie theater just broke out into laughter. And it was a story that me and my former associate Violet would always point out. We went to this movie together, to the movie House of Wax. So I'm sure many of you have seen it. But the party, it's not a terrible film, I guess. It was all right. I didn't have any serious problems with the movie. But it had Paris Hilton in it, and she has that death scene in it where she gets a pipe shoved through her mouth, and the one character's filming the whole thing. And I remember watching it. It was more than apparent that she was going to die in the scene. And I just pipe right through her mouth into the back. And I'm watching this, and it's pretty silent in the theater. And then after that scene, I couldn't help it. Paris Hilton getting a pipe in. I just break out. I was sitting there completely silent. I just straight up broke out laughing, and my associate sitting next to me, he starts laughing. The other 13 to 15 people that showed up to see this not very well made, but okay. I give horror movies a lot of credit, but this okay film, these 13, 14, maybe even 20 people were in the theater at the time, they all start laughing too. And that was just a beautiful moment that we all shared. We were all laughing, and I think we all knew why we were laughing. And I just was the one that said, "Okay, let's laugh at this. Let's treat this like a joke because I saw it as a joke." But enough of that. What I wanted to talk about though is I like going to the movies, but I prefer to go to see a rated R movie more than anything else. If I'm going to the theaters, I prefer it to be rated R. And it's a very simple reason why. It has nothing to do with content. It doesn't matter to me about the adult content. I don't need the nudity. I don't need the language. I don't need the violence. I can think movies are good without any of these things. I don't need that adult content to make it a good movie for me. Why I like to go to rated R movies is because that means that there are fewer and fewer kids under the age of 17 in these films. Hopefully, in these theaters. Hopefully. I once had the unpleasant experience. I went to go see Alien Resurrection, which is a movie I do like. So shoot me. And I had a good time. I enjoyed watching it, and I've seen it many times since. It's directed by by one of my favorite directors. Um, and I'm watching it. We're in the first 5 minutes of the movie where they're showing all the different clones that failed and everything. And then they show them extracting the alien from Sigourney Weaver in the beginning, and it pops out, and it's and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there. This was at a cheap dollar theater, which I actually like. I sometimes prefer to go to dollar theaters just because I don't feel like I have to pay $1 billion to go see a movie. But I'm I'm sitting in there and I can hear a baby start crying and little kids start crying. A family of about 8 jump up and leave. And what were you expecting? It's a rated R movie full of monsters. It's called Alien Resurrection. If you've seen any of the other Alien films, you know what you're in for. Why are you bringing your children to see a movie like that? That's one complaint. I don't like being interrupted in the movie. I don't like having kids running back and forth. I don't like the way that kids will talk throughout the whole movie about things that have nothing to do with the movie. I don't have problems if people like sit there and make a comment or an aside or that has to do with the movie. That's fine, and I'll do it too occasionally. I'm probably a terrible person to watch movies with because I'll always sit there and did you notice? I'll sit and make some comment about the film. You know, like, hey, isn't that broad dumb? Obviously the monster's behind the door there. I'm probably very irritating to watch a movie with because I'll talk throughout it, but I'm talking about the movie. I don't need kids sitting there text messaging each other, jumping out of their seats, throwing popcorn at each other. That's the stuff I don't like. I went to go see The Ring, and that was my experience. And it kind of made the movie harder for me to watch. For one thing, I got stuck with a seat that was clear up too far up front, and then I had a whole bunch of teenage girls around me, and they were text messaging each other the whole movie, goofing around. There were some boys that they knew over there, and they're throwing popcorn at each other. This is why I prefer going to a rated R movie with just adults. I'll go to a midnight showing of a movie just so I don't have to be interrupted during that. And that's what happened at this movie. This movie that we happened to see, although it was a horror movie, was rated PG-13, which is a good hint on which movie it was. But there were kids in the theater, and for some reason, like it was non fail. And I mean, the movie I think was good enough that it held my attention enough that I could still enjoy it. But it would be like one kid would get up and leave and go out the back door, and I'm at the back. Me and my wife are at the back, and they'd have to pass by my wife, and she's in her wheelchair sitting off to the side there. They'd have to pass by her and then go out the front door because they never. Oh, excuse me, and then they have to. Then they'd open those doors are always so, loud in those theaters. And then that kid would go out. Then he'd come back in. Then like his buddy would go out, and then some woman would go out, and then a dude would go out, back and forth. And that happened during once, like for about like a good 10-minute session during the film. And then later towards the end of the film, they all did it again. You know, I understand you only paid $1.50 to go see this movie, but have some respect and just watch the whole movie. If you don't like it, leave at the beginning. I never walk out of a movie unless it's really, really, really bad. And I don't think I've ever really walked out of a movie in my life. I'm thinking for some reason I think there was a situation where I did walk out of a movie, but I can't imagine which one it was. Another situation that was like that with kids being noisy and rowdy was I went to go see the Passion of the Christ, which people may say, "Why'd you go see Passion of the Christ? Aren't you like not Christian, and it's true, but I think it was a very well made horror film. I think Rue Morgue gives that movie, Rue Morgue magazine gives that movie a thumbs up on gore effects, and it does have excellent gore effects. But I go to see this movie, and there's a group of girls up there, and they're all goofing around and laughing. They end up leaving the theater screaming, and then they come back and cry the whole rest of the time. I like to watch my movies in relative peace. That's all I'm saying. I'm a jerk like that. If you go to the movies, have respect for other people. I kind of miss the old days when I'd go to the theater and you'd see the cartoon show at the beginning that sits there and says, "Hey, this is the theater you're at, and go buy some concessions." And by the way, please no talking during the film. Please don't be obnoxious. No, and then of course, as the years went by, no cell phones, no laser pointers. Please have respect for everyone in the theater, which I guess is something that's a dead idea. Let's go to the movies and watch the movie instead of like have a party. Crazy idea, I know. I just when I go to see a movie, I like to watch the movie, and let's see how many more times I can say the word movie in the rest of this video. Movie, 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 movie. When I go to a movie, I like to watch the movie. I like to sit down in the movie, eat my movie popcorn, and have my movie candy, and have my movie soda. Or maybe I snuck in a movie soda and I sit there and I've got the can and I'm sitting there. you know. You ever try that? Ever try that? You sneak in a soda, so you pretend like you're shushing someone while you're popping it open. Be quieter with your soda, dude. No one's making a noise. Oh yeah, and communication. I'll see you next vlog.